to Hexed Encountered. I'm Joe, and today we are going to be taking a look at some crowdfunding that's going on right now. Some of them have deadlines that are pretty soon. A couple others will be starting in the near future, and also maybe a couple of other things, news type items here. And I'm going to try and keep this brief because why not, right? Just get you the info and move on. So having said that, let's get right to it. Okay, first off, I wanted to talk about the multi-man publishing sale that's going on. It is Veterans Week, Veterans Day week. It's a Veterans Day sale here. It started on November 7th and it runs through the 14th at midnight. And there are a bunch of games that are pretty drastically reduced. You can see some here on their homepage, and there are a selection that's here, but the full list is actually available on Boardgame Geek. And if we scroll down a little bit here, here's the list. As you can see, it is pretty long, and there is some good stuff in there. Some OCS, some SCS, Goose Green from the Tactical Combat series, Salerno. There is a bunch of ASL stuff as well, as you would expect from them. So check that out when you get a chance. That is mmpgamers.com is their website. So check that out. And remember, you have to do that before midnight on, and I believe that's probably midnight Eastern time here in the US. So that is midnight Eastern time, I believe, anyway, on the 14th of November. Now let's jump over to some crowdfunding. The first one I wanted to talk about was Devil of a Job. This is from Matt White, who is a content creator himself, as well as being a pretty dang good artist and game designer. Now, most of his stuff, in fact, I think all of his stuff is, at least recently anyway, kind of solitaire print and play. And so this is, as I just mentioned, a solitaire World War II print and play war game, where you command a group of British airborne on a daring raid in enemy-occupied France on D-Day to capture and hold two key strategic bridges. So this is the Caen Canal, a pretty famous action during the D-Day invasion, and this is Matt's take on that. So this one runs through three days from now. It ends at 4 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday, November 13th. So if you want to get this, it's relatively inexpensive. 13 pounds, which is about 18 US dollars, and the estimated delivery is next month, December 2025. You can also get some of his other stuff if you bundle it together. Operation Biting, he's got a whole bunch of them, all the paratrooper games that he has, and then all of his print and play games for 94 pounds or $124. So and there's a long description in here where you can see all of the components as they look, and then you have Operation Biting, print and play, and so on and so forth. So Matt does great work. Really, really love his art. As I mentioned, he does content creation. He does war game reviews and gameplay videos and stuff. Just a really talented guy, and check out his game because it looks like it's pretty good. So let's talk now about Worthington, who has a 3-game set. Now, you might look at this and say, well, these are all older games, and that's somewhat true. We have second editions, and in a couple, or in at least one case with Tarawa, we have a reworking to make it more travel-sized. So we have all 3 of these are World War II Pacific theater themed games. They are all solitaire games. We have Tarawa 1943 Solitaire. We have the Midway Solitaire game and the Pacific War 1942 Solitaire game, which, as you can see, hopefully right here, is a second edition. This one runs through November 22nd, so you have a little bit of time. November 22nd, 4 p.m. Eastern time. And like I said, you have 3 games. You can buy any one of them individually, I believe, or you can buy the 3-pack. You can see Midway 1942 Solitaire for $29. They're all $29 a piece. Tarawa 29, Pacific War 29. All three together are 80. And you can also get neoprene mats for them, which are pretty nice actually. So you could get all three games and all three neoprenes together in one package for $125. So as I mentioned, there are descriptions on each of these, starting with Midway right here. And you get a look at all of the components and so on. Sheets with your various aircraft carriers and the Japanese forces that are coming for invasions of Alaska and Midway Island, respectively, plus their carrier strike force with their carriers on them. And it's got cards that you use as well. Explanation of how it works. There's your neoprene game board. And there's Pacific War, where you play as the allies, basically, and take on the bot-driven Japanese, which also has cards. And then, of course, there's Tarawa, which is a travel-size version of the board game classic Tarawa 1943, which I have. I do not have this version. This is brand new, I believe. So it comes with counters instead of wooden blocks. I do have video on Iwo Jima 1945, which is the same system. It's just not the Tarawa invasion. It's the Iwo Jima invasion. But there are wooden blocks in that, and it's card-driven as well. So same gameplay with same full-size cards, just a smaller overall footprint and counters instead of wooden blocks. And here are a look at the counters. Now in the original version, the large version, you get wooden blocks that are colored just like this, green and yellow, and have stickers on them with the strength of the Japanese defenders and the unit of the U.S. Marine Corps units that are attacking. So there you go. You can actually look at the draft rules for that game here as well. And there is the neoprene game board, which looks pretty cool. And you can see shipping info and all that stuff. So good stuff. I'm a big fan of Worthington's work. Their games are, typically speaking, not overly complex, but very enjoyable and dripping with theme. So that makes them one of my favorites. Now, if we go back here, we do have this from Whirligig Games, the reprints of John Company and Molly House. If you are a fan of Cole Wehrle and his games, those are very well considered and liked games. These are some upcoming projects that I have followed so far. This is the one specifically I want to talk about, but we do have this one over here, Pigskin, which is launching soon from Columbia, which is a game of American football inspired by Slapshot, which is, of course, a hockey-themed game. So that is coming soon from Columbia. But the one I really wanted to get to here is this guy right here, Rising Dragon, from Flying Pig Games. Of course, I am a big fan of Flying Pig Games. And this is the sequel to Armageddon War, which is a fantastic game. And this launches, well, tomorrow, as I'm doing this, at noon Eastern time. That's November 11th, noon Eastern. And I believe, I'm not sure how long the campaign runs. I'm guessing at least for a week or so. But you've got a full rundown here of what it's involved. And you can see right here, it does tell you kind of platoon level combat in the invasion of Taiwan. Just like Armageddon War, it's near future. In this case, 2034, I think. October 1st, 2034. Marks the beginning of the conflict that unfolds in Rising Dragon, a standalone game and campaign setting for the Armageddon War system. So it is platoon level. That is a level I greatly enjoy. 150 meters per hex, 15 minutes per turn, continuous chip pull activation. So it's turnless, if you want to look at it that way. 18 stamped dice for combat resolution, naval, amphibious, and urban conflicts. 14 and up, it is a two-player game. Based on Armageddon War and my play of that, you can definitely play it solitaire. It's better two-player, but you can play it solitaire. Playing time 1 to 3 hours, and it is scenario-based. So you're going to get some cutting-edge technologies, including hypersonic missiles, advanced amphibious operations, and detailed maps. Okay, then there is an O-Plan 5027 supplement, which brings the Koreans into the battle, it appears, North and South Korea. Players can engage in both the defense and offense of Korea's border zones. So that is going to be the expansion that will come with it. This is what you'll get: 2 mounted 22 by 33 inch full color game boards, 4 sheets of gorgeous die cut 1-inch counters. When they say gorgeous, they are not exaggerating. The counters, based on, again, experience with Flying Pig Games components, the maps, the counters, all the components are just simply fantastic. Full color rule and scenario book with 16 scenarios, play aid cards, and 18 dice. Here's a look at some of the counters, and so on and so forth. So look for that again, November 11th, which is, of course, Veterans Day here in the U.S. It's also the anniversary of the end of the First World War. So it is considered to be a holiday, or at least a day of remembrance, in many of the nations around the world. But that is also the day when this will launch. I believe it will launch at, noon Eastern, 12 p.m. Eastern time on November 11th. So be on the lookout for that. All right, and now we will jump over to GameFound. And there are 2 games here that I wanted to kind of highlight here. That would be Assault, new revised version of Assault Red Horizon 41. Actually, both the games I'm talking about here, as you can see, are from Sound of Drums. They're the top 2 here. We have a, as I mentioned, revised edition of Assault Red Horizon 41. And if you click on this guy, you can see this is the tactical game series. I do have the Sicily one, which I have not yet covered for the channel, but I do have it. So this is, of course, just a campaign preview that I am currently following. It has not started yet, just something to keep on your radar if you are interested. It's got new rules, artwork, and upgraded components. And you can see some of the things here. It includes crossing the Naru. Yeah, maybe. I might not have pronounced that correctly, as happens frequently for me, but you get the idea. Now, if we go back and we look at this one, this is the 3rd of the Battles of Napoleon series. The first one was Eylau, and the second one is, I think, Quatre Bras, if I remember correctly. I am backing that one. I back enough things that I can't always remember what they all are. And this one is, of course, Aspern Essling 1809. Take a quick look here. When you get a preview, you don't really get a whole lot of things to look at. It's basically like an image, as it is here, or a slideshow. Originally, this was, I guess, going to be Volume 2, or they have a typo there because it says Volume 2, it is not Volume 2. This is Volume 3. The Battle Against the Danube. And again, this is a campaign preview. There was an update for the second one. They're actually adding Wartenberg to the game. Some other things that I had looked at. Here's a late pledge for Armed Conflict. Take a quick look at that before we sign off here. So this is a war game for 2 to 6 players, lets you command military units of different type and size in a conflict between 2 alliances, the Lions and the Eagles. So this is loosely based on post-World War II world, but not tied to any specific event or location. Complexity is balanced to suit both casual board gamers as well as seasoned war gamers without sacrificing realism. There you can see the slideshow. This, of course, is on GameFound if you want to check it out. The game is Armed Conflict from Bachholm Games, and it is in late pledge stage right now as the campaign has concluded. If you're wondering about costs, 49 euros is what it will set you back. Okay, so check it out if you are interested. But for now, that is going to do it for our video today. I thank you for watching. I tried to keep it as short as possible. Looks like we'll come in under 15 minutes, or around 15 minutes. Maybe it's not under anymore. I thought I was doing great anyway. Well, under 20 minutes, let's say that. So I won't bog this down. Now, normally I would put it up 24 hours early because of the timeliness of this and the fact that some of these are ending soon, or in the case of the Flying Pig game's release, that one begins very soon. So I wanted this to be more timely. So I'm sorry to my members who do get their shout out, by the way, but I will apologize for not actually letting you guys get a 24-hour pre-release for this one, because again, this is a news-related type thing. And when I do news-related type things, they probably won't go up early because it's more of a timeliness thing than, your regular gameplay video, first look, review, whatever else it may be. So, having said all that, definitely thank you. Big time shout out to those guys, the members of the Hexed Encounter channel. 2 levels, the Hexed tier and the Counter tier. The Counter tier does include access to the Discord for my channel, as well as 24-hour pre-release of the videos, aside from things like this, which are news related. So thanks again to those guys. Thanks as well to all my subscribers. Thank to everyone who has watched. And if you would like to consider joining, or at the very least liking, sharing, and or potentially subscribing, that would be awesome and greatly appreciated. Just by watching the channel, you are supporting it, and I appreciate that very much. That will do it for now. I'm Joe. This is Hexed Encountered. And until next time, as always, happy gaming.